Hello, so why do people accept cotton over gold? Not only accept it, but they prefer it. People would prefer to take this, just a handful of this, as their wages for the weekly labor every single week over physical gold and physical silver. Because in essence, this, which has an intrinsic value of 0, and this, which is just this in another form with pretty colors and some numbers that say 1 or 50 or 100, have the exact same intrinsic value. And so you're accepting literally handfuls of cotton as the payment for your harder labor. So how has it become that people have become so fooled by this banking scam? And I'm going to tell you, one has to do with the history of money that's been purged, so people don't understand a lot of things. So the people in power today, they really force people to take sides, like Republicans or Democrats. You're either with us or you're against us. So people are shuttled into certain sides to prevent them from seeing reality rather than just taking the side of the truth. The people in power always try to polarize people from a very young age. Little children are taught to be very nationalistic. It doesn't matter if they're growing up in China, Russia, America, Canada, Mexico. Little kids are taught to be nationalistic. And what that does is very harmful because it appeals to someone's emotions as far as people being able to make a choice. And when people become reliant on emotions, they get so beholden to a concept that they're blinded by their irrationality of their emotions and they cannot see the truth. So that is why a lot of times when I tell people, you really should be moving the bulk of your savings into physical gold and physical silver, because the US dollar has intrinsic value of nothing and is near collapse. A lot of times they respond with, "That's ridiculous. The US is like the strongest country in the world." And I come across this conversation with people that say they don't take sides. People say, "I never take sides. I always just look at the facts." But yet they have this irrational response to what I tell them. And what they are doing is taking sides even though they say they are not. So let me give you an example of kind of discussion I have probably once a month with people. Okay, here goes. Did you know that you should convert nearly all of your savings into physical gold and physical silver because the US dollar is close to collapse? The US dollar will never collapse. The US is the strongest country in the world. And what makes it the strongest country in the world? The $220 trillion of debt it can never repay? Now you're just being ridiculous. Let's back things up a little then. When the US stock market fell nearly 58% in 2008, was that a collapse? That wasn't a collapse, that was a crash because the US market came back, stupid. Okay, even though the bankers just reinflated the stock market bubble to get their whopping 18% gain right now from the pre-crash levels in 2007, I'll give you that you don't want to call a 58% fall a collapse. Then what would you call a collapse? I don't know. Well, you said 58% is a crash, so would 70% or 75% be a collapse? I'd say it's more like 80% or more would be a collapse. Okay, how much do you think the US dollar has fallen in value since bankers seized the monopoly over its creation in 1913 then? Oh, I don't know, 40%? 40% would be great in comparison to reality. Actually, central bankers and commercial bankers have devalued the US dollar by 98% in just the last 100 years. So by your definition, that collapses 80%. The US dollar has already collapsed, but you just told me that my prediction that the US dollar will collapse in the near future is ridiculous. Don't be throwing all your stupid facts at me. They don't mean anything. Look, Warren Buffett and Bill Gates says owning gold is stupid. You think you're smarter than them? You keep your stupid silver. In my book, only this is numero uno. So realize this, when people say that man never learns from his mistakes or history is destined to repeat itself, the only reason that is because the bankers and the politicians have purged the history of real money out of all the textbooks in school. So people don't understand because that history's been purged. So obviously, if the history that the true history of money was taught in all schools all over the world, people wouldn't keep being fooled by bankers into accepting this, which has intrinsic value of nothing, instead of converting all their money into physical gold and physical silver. So that's my message for today. If you learned anything, please share this with everyone you know. Please comment below and click subscribe. And as always, remain intensely curious. Until next time, take care.